Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
I have a tender spot in my heart for cripples, bastards, and broken things.
What about second breakfast?
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
This is a tasty burger.
And tell him to suit up. I'm bringing the party to you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optix, where we bring you the strengths and shortcomings of the movie industry. I'm your co-host, Christian, and joining with me today is my co-host, Devin, and we are actually going to be doing, this is our first ever news pod that we'll be bringing to you guys. We
Headline Hot Takes.
Headline Hot Takes, that's right. Yeah, we're going to be calling this our Headline Hot Takes show. It's just something that we came up with. We wanted to give it a little bit of a catchy vibe. But yeah, before we begin today's review, make sure to check out our Birds of Prey review that will be coming out this Sunday. We actually just got back from the theater, just finished doing our recording for that. We kind of want to spread that out, especially with the Oscars coming up this weekend. So you got to watch out for that as well.
And that knocks out one piece of news because we can say that Birds of Prey is tracking to make 110 million to 125 million in its worldwide box office this weekend.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, making back its budget. It's, we've been hearing nothing but great reviews, a few, negative reviews here or there, but that's pretty normal with any any movie that's out. Not everyone is going to like it. So that's totally fine there.
It just wasn't sexy enough, guys.
It wasn't. I didn't see the sex appeal. I can't fap to Margot Robbie while I'm watching this movie.
They'll find a way. Those incels will find a way. They always do.
They always do. Yeah. But before we begin today's podcast new headline hot takes. Wow, I'm all over the place. I was going to say review and I had to stop myself. But before we begin today's episode, there we go. I like that. It's got a nice ring to it. You can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Anchor, and YouTube as well. And we have a lot of news stories we kind of want to get talk about today. We kind of trim the fat. We normally, how we're going to be doing this is collecting all of the news pieces that we find throughout the week, and we're going to be either recording on Thursday nights, which is tonight, or Friday nights, and hopefully getting that to you guys throughout the weekend. It could be kind of crazy with our busy schedule, but we're going to try it out, see how it works out for us, if we like it or not. So this will be our first pilot episode. So that's pretty cool.
News.
Yeah, we actually Devin's like, bro, we don't have a theme song. So we're just we're gonna have to make up something just until we figure something out. So I guess it's just news. Or news.
Film Optix, the news guys.
Film Optix, the news guy. News. Oh man, great show. But so I guess we'll just dive right in.
Why is this our first piece of news? This is all you. You're gonna have to cover this yourself.
Well, I was gonna ask if dive into the movie.
First ever news piece, and this is what we got.
Well, okay, we could talk about one of the news pieces. Well, I just wanted to see if you saw any of these trailers. I wanted to talk about the movie trailers really quick, just to get that out there, get our thoughts and opinions and whatnot. But so we had two. Well, technically, we had three movie trailers come out this week. One was Fast 9. The other one was Spyro from the Book of Saw. I didn't care about that. That's coming out sooner than I thought, on May 15th. But I really wanted to talk about was the Minions, the Rise of
I've never seen Despicable Me. I've never seen Minions. I don't care about those little yellow things. They've just become grandma boomer Facebook memes at this point. That's all they are.
I just thought it was a really funny trailer, and I'm a sucker for animated films. So I was just like, you know what? We can talk about it a little bit in passing. We don't have to go super deep into it. I've seen Despicable Me, and I think I saw Minions, but I don't think I've seen the second one. But they were all in passing. I didn't really necessarily go out of my way. But I mean, it's Steve Carell, playing Groot again. So it's like, why not?
You ever see him dressed up as it in real life that one time?
No, I did not.
Shout out to the Lights Camera Boys, one of their specialties. He looks so creepy when he's dressed up like him, like Gru in real life. I think it was on the Ellen show. He like dressed up as Gru. It's just
did he really?
Terrifying.
I'll have to look that up just to see how terrifying it is. But I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool little piece of news to usher in the movie trailers. But I mean, I
think I have a nice headline hot take for the Saw trailer.
Oh yeah, for Spiral. Yeah, well, let's hear it then.
I think this looks like it might be the best Saw movie based on the trailer. Like, I don't know if you've seen the Saw movies, but not the greatest of quality throughout.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I have seen, I believe, maybe one or two of them. I think it was like maybe Saw 3 or Saw 4. But I'll definitely have to check it out. I mean, I'm not, I'm not the best. Oh, what?
There it is.
No. What is Steve Carell? What? I'm sorry, everyone. Devin just sent something to me. He sent me Steve Carell dressed as Gru. Wow, that's really freaky. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm really glad that this isn't live action. So that's really all I have to say about it. But yeah, I've heard mixed things about the Spiral Book of Saw trailer. We were talking about it on the Cinemania World podcast yesterday. So
it's a lot weird. Of people, I'm not sure if there is a Saw book. I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know either. It's very odd. I felt like it was an odd take for a movie.
I'm just drawn in by Chris Rock and Samuel L. It's so weird. It just might work.
Yeah, it might. Honestly, we never know. It comes out May 15th. We'll definitely have to give it a look-see just to assess the situation, because this movie kind of like sprung up on us. So that's always pretty cool. But I don't know. But that's
Fast 9. How is John Cena Vin Diesel's brother?
I'm very tired of the Fast 9. I'm tired of Fast and Furious. Like I understand it's a fun ride. It's great. Everyone, it's family friendly. Everybody can go see it. I love that. I love how, it's all about family. Vin Diesel always says, but it's just one of those franchises that I'm very tired out. I'm just exhausted.
Hobbs and Shaw was good though.
It was a great time, and I actually liked The Rock. I liked oh my gosh, Jason Statham, I think his name was, and then we had Idris Elba. So I think that was a really nice casting, and then we had Vanessa Kirby as well. But for some reason, yeah, I really did enjoy that. It was just I don't know. One of the actors had said that they could take on the Avengers in the fight, and I was like, okay, buddy.
Yeah, that was Tyrese. He's got to calm down.
Yeah, sit down, Tyrese. Like, come on, let's look at the facts here. Like, I mean, yeah, you guys are pretty much basically superheroes in a way, but it's like, I mean, magnet planes, and then what was in the trailer? They're like, they attach themselves. They're like, it's like a swinging car. I'm like, what is this franchise now? And then Vin Diesel's like, oh, we have to quote unquote reward fans for what? For a part 1 and part 2 for Fast 10. I'm like, this is not needed. This is not wanted. Nobody is asking for this besides you. And don't forget,
you'll be there in that theater. You're just dying to see it.
I don't know, man. But it's like for Fast 9,
it's spectacle.
Like,
big, dumb spectacle.
We'll watch it, but we'll review it, and I'll never go back and see it ever again. I just don't care. It's just like, what? Like, why is this? I'm happy for it, but then they're also making that video game that looks like a PS2 game that they announced that what was it? Oh my gosh, I think it was the Game Awards. I'm like, why are you here? Why are you here? Who invited you? Just why? And it looks so bad that it's just. I'm just it's an exhausting franchise. Like I can't say I hate it. It's just I don't know, man.
They're just gonna keep pushing.
I don't know how much more I can take, but I guess
that's the main 3 trailers.
Yeah, that's pretty much covers for the main 3 trailers there. So
movie trailers at least.
Movie trailers
coming up.
Well, I guess we'll just dive into one of our first news stories with Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki TV.
How do they conjure up so much hype with such a short little teaser?
It was like what, 30 seconds? Yeah.
Like 15 seconds for each show, and it just caused so much hype.
Did it actually drop during the Super Bowl? Because I was watching the game, obviously, but like we're running back and forth because we started grilling out really late. I was at my friend's house here in town. So we started grilling out super late. I think it was like a little bit after halftime. And by the way, halftime show, very, very wow. Like I absolutely loved it.
Yes.
But what did you think?
It was during the fourth quarter when they
okay. I wasn't sure if they actually dropped it on like air like during the Super Bowl, or if it was something they just dropped on Twitter during the Super Bowl, and it's like, hey, it's here. We're here. Let's do this thing. But yeah, man, I am. It just even the ending of that trailer, and Loki's like
I'm
going to burn this place to the ground.
He's in time jail. Like it just sounds so cool.
It really does. I mean, he picked up that Tesseract and went poof, bye, and Endgame. So
that WandaVision trailer, there's so much going on in that show. It's gonna be crazy. Many genres.
I think
Full House vibe.
Yeah, the Full House, I Love Lucy type of vibe. It's just that classic sitcom that I really do miss, and I'm glad that's making a comeback. But I think Bob Iger had also said that I think Falcon and Winter Soldier are both coming out this year. I think they're going to be I think they're both 6 episodes long, which isn't bad depending on how long each episode is. But given with WandaVision, if they're going more of the sitcom route, I mean, I think this is supposed to be leading into Doctor Strange 2, which we'll get that into a second with our Marvel news as well. But out of the 3 so far, which one are you most excited for?
It's got to be WandaVision.
Like I thought you were going to go Falcon Winter Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier does look cool, but it doesn't feel like it has as much like weight to it. Like I feel like WandaVision is going to be really important.
Yeah. And I mean, Baron Zemo's back, so that's actually pretty cool.
Yes, he's going to be cool with that purple mask.
Yeah, that's going to be insane.
And then Loki, we just don't really know anything about.
Right. Yeah, we don't know too much about these shows. We definitely know nothing really about Loki because we don't even have a release window for that yet. But Marvel is gearing up. It's Disney Plus has been doing very, very well. With actually they just hit like a really nice milestone between, I believe it was they just hit a few days ago 26.5 million paid subscribers since launch.
Yeah, I think it even got updated to like 28 something a little bit after that.
That's actually pretty sweet because I mean, I remember you were showing me this and you were like, man, this, and I think it's more than Hulu had made in 4 months. They caught up to Hulu.
And then, which is crazy because Disney Plus is in so little countries compared to everything else.
Yeah. You said it. Yeah, because it hasn't released in the UK yet. I believe it's either coming. It's either March or April for Disney Plus. But I believe you said it's it caught up to Hulu within 4 months of subscribers.
Yeah.
And we saw that through. I think it was Hollywood Reporter that talked about that. But also, between all of the Disney Plus Marvel goodness, we have the Marvel shows. Well, there's two unannounced Marvel shows that we still don't know
Yes,
anything about.
indeed.
So we
Speculation
have
time.
yeah, and I'm very interested to see what they are. But so I guess so. Right now we have what Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, the What If series,
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. And that's what, 7 or 8? Is that 8? I think that's 8. Yeah. And then there's 2 unannounced shows. I don't know what they could be though.
I'm pretty confident one's going to be Young Avengers, maybe related.
Or the Hawkeye
if they don't
series.
do a movie. Oh yeah, the Hawkeye one too.
Maybe. Yeah, that's right. Oh, like okay, I see what you say, like a Young Avengers thing. That would be pretty interesting. I don't know, or maybe do you think one of the big Avengers would make their way to the small screen, kind of how they have it for WandaVision, Loki, and Winter Soldier?
I don't know. The 10th one's tough.
Yeah. It could just be, I was talking about this in Cinemania World yesterday. They kind of touched on this a little bit, but it could be just like another new hero, because the Marvel universe is so big. Maybe they're trying to maybe kind of do like a Guardians of the Galaxy effect or the Eternals effect, just more on the smaller scale TV size and introducing new heroes, and then eventually them making their way to the big screen. I don't know, or New Mutants. I mean, it could be something X-Men or Fantastic Four. So, I mean, there's also that as well. So, I don't know, maybe. But let's move on to our next news piece here really quick. I think this will be our last thing for our Marvel talk. Actually, one more thing after that. So we have the Eternals has officially finished filming, so that's pretty cool. I believe Richard Madden completed his part of filming, and I think there was another cast member who had posted on Twitter. I forgot, what was her name, Devin?
Gemma Chan.
Okay, yeah. So she had posted on Twitter that she's done with, that Eternals in general is done filming, so that's pretty cool. But also, I think this will actually be our last Disney piece of news, and then we'll finally move on to other things. Christian Bale is definitely confirmed to play intergalactic villain in Thor 4, which is Thor: Love and Thunder. I think
they pulled the Bale man back in for a comic book movie. Can't believe they did it.
I know, right? It's like, all right, Christian Bale, you're gonna have to gain a lot of weights. We're gonna be doing more weight fluctuations with your character.
Yes, you're gonna have to turn into an alien physically.
Physically, mentally, and spiritually, and it's gonna be awesome. But I thought this was a nice piece of news as well. So I mean, it's things are looking up and up for Marvel. They're definitely on a high note right now, and hopefully they just continue to keep doing what they're doing. They got a nice formula going. I know a lot of people out there don't really like the fact that they have this formula take or whatever you want to call it, but at the same time, it's like it's a formula. The formula works. It's, yes, it is more of the same, but like they pump out really good movies. So it's like I mean, and yeah, some of them are hit or miss. I know a lot of people didn't like Captain Marvel, and I think the reason why people didn't like it as much, at least for me, was that it's another origin story, and I guess you could say she was kind of sort of rushed, but not really. But it's just, with origin stories, it's, people want to see these superheroes established and, kicking butt and taking names wherever they go. Kind of like how with Spider-Man PS4, excuse me, kind of with Spider-Man PS4, I mentioned this in Cinemania World as well, that when you first start the game, Peter Parker has already been Spider-Man for like 5-6 years. He's like 22, 23 years old. So he's very established. He knows what he's doing. They kind of gloss over the origin story, because I think as important as it is for superheroes movies, at the same time, I feel like they are a bit of a pain to get through, or it's just more of how they're executed. Because it's like, okay, like you can essentially say that everyone's origin story is essentially the same with, their their come up and how they became who they are, blah 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 blah. And then you finally get into the meat and the potatoes of that superhero moving forward. But any thoughts about that, or you kind of just want to move on to our next piece of news?
The Raimi man is
The
back.
Raimi man. That's right. Wow. I guess it's going to be a Disney podcast from here on out.
Marvel's been dropping some heaters recently.
They really have. Yeah. Like Sam Raimi, the director of the Tobey Maguire series Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man 1 through 3. He was originally in talks to direct Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, aka Doctor Strange 2, but now I believe it has been officially confirmed, because I've seen both between Headline and Variety and LCB.
I'm guessing it's official by now.
It sounds like it's pretty official. And this actually kind of broke yesterday, just out of nowhere. And I think I sent it to you. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the best piece of news that I've ever heard in my entire life. Like,
it's such a perfect fit.
It really is. Like,
he introduced Spider-Man to the world, and he's done horror movies, and that's what this movie is: comic book horror. It's so perfect.
Yeah, and the fact that we have Sam Raimi and Kevin Feige working together again, because they've worked together in the past, and also Sam Raimi is a really, really big Doctor Strange fan. He's always wanted to do
all the
movie.
people that are mad that Scott Derrickson, quote unquote, got fired. He's still executive producing, so he didn't really go anywhere. He's still part of the project. He's there.
Yeah, like he's literally
and he supports the Sam Raimi decision. Like, he tweeted about how much he respects him and likes that choice. So he's in.
Yeah, High Top Films didn't like that, like at all. And I was like, okay, but like I thought he was going to be happy for it. He's like, oh, if he was doing a Flash movie, I would be. If Sam Raimi was doing a Flash movie, then I would be excited. I was like, come on, you cannot deny that this is a match made in heaven. Like, this is so perfect. And I hope, they, Kevin Feige or Disney, the Disney overlords, whatever, give Sam, the free reign of his, his vision for this movie. So, excuse me. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. This is like the best piece of news ever. It's just, I mean, they even mentioned Doctor Strange, and I believe it's Spider-Man 2. It could be Spider-Man 1, where they're trying to figure out what to call Spider-Man, and someone's like Doctor Strange. You're like, ooh, I like it, but it's taken. And yeah, so that was pretty sweet. Congratulations to Sam Raimi, because bravo. This is great news. There's always a way, when these when these directors come in. Like, I love it how we have amazing surprises like this as well. So yeah, man. So let's just move on to our next piece of news here. And I guess let's just talk about some Bad Boys for Life really quick, because we reviewed that, and it becomes it's quickly, actually it already has become January's biggest release ever at $17.7 million this past weekend, I believe it was. And
is it safe to say this is the best January movie ever?
Ooh, if I didn't see Gentlemen, actually, okay, I will say that it is the best of January. I was, maybe it's like neck and neck for me for this in Gentlemen, but I will say I really did enjoy Bad Boys. So you know what? Yeah, sure, why not? Whatever. And honestly, this is the first, we talked about this in our review. This is the first older property remake, or not remake, or continuation older franchise that's actually done well. We've had Terminator.
It broke the curse.
It really did break the curse, and I'm hoping that studios moving forward, Universal. I'm looking at you, Cats and Doolittle. Wow,
What a 1-2 punch.
it, it was definitely a 1-2 punch. I'm just hoping studios will follow suit, and even with the directors of Bad Boys, there's rumors that they might be in talk to direct something Marvel related, so that would be pretty cool. With the humor was on point, so I think that's a really good sign there. But we'll just have to wait and see there. But I don't know. It's just something we'll just have to wait and see and pray that everything works out very, very well. But let's move on. I wanted to touch on the BAFTAs, not the actual awards of the BAFTAs, but this really quick. Congratulations to all the winners of the BAFTAs. I didn't really get a chance to sit down and watch it, especially with the Oscars coming up. I've just had a very busy week myself, and so it's Devin. We're two young working men. So, but I did want to talk about Joaquin Phoenix's call out on the film industry for systematic racism during his BAFTA speech. Did you watch that, Devin? Did you see that on Twitter?
Yeah, I saw a quick 2-minute clip from it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the long and end of what I've seen from it. And he in Joaquin Phoenix, he seems like a very strange guy. Especially after his Oscar speech. Not Oscar, I'm sorry. Gosh, Golden Globes speech. He was wow. I was like, okay, buddy, slow your roll there. Hold on. I was like, is he still playing the Joker? I was like, I don't know. He's like, what's funny, Murray? But big props to Joaquin Phoenix for standing up for all the minorities out there, and because there was a big controversy that the BAFTAs were pretty much just acknowledging all of the white performers with the nominations, and weren't giving as much love to the minority actors. So what he said was it was 100% true.
And I also appreciate that he mentioned that the only way it's going to change is if people like him that are in a position of privilege actually enforce the change, so he can recognize his own privilege and move on to make the world better.
Yeah, and that is something I really that kind of stuck with a lot of people, and I believe that Kelvin Harris Jr. I think they cut to him during that during that time of his speech, and he seemed very kind of like a seal of approval, I guess, in a way. I saw someone on Twitter excuse me, was saying that they're like, oh, they're like, so does this mean that Joaquin Phoenix is going to give up all of his roles to like a minority now? I was like, no, that's not. You're completely missing about what he's saying. It's just very. It's things do need to change, especially not even with minorities within race, but minorities in gender and sex. With Greta Gerwig being completely snubbed, in my opinion, from Best Director, because we've talked about this before. How does Saoirse Ronan gets nominated, or I think Florence Pugh, like everyone else on her team gets nominated for something. The movie itself gets nominated for Best Picture, which I was very shocked. But how does she not land a Best Director? Because how do you have a movie in the Best Picture category, and none of this is possible without the director? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it just doesn't make sense to have it nominated for Best Movie but not Best Director. Like, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, and after a while, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, especially Alana Pierce's podcast on the I believe hers is called Play, Watch, Listen, and they were actually talking about the Game Awards, and Troy Baker, the voice actor for Joel in The Last of Us, and many other roles as well. He was saying that he was asking, he's like, what does it mean? for game of the year, and like what does it mean for best action game and things of that nature. And I kind of related that to film, and I was like, what does best picture mean? What does best director mean? And it's it kind of just makes you think, because there isn't really a clear explanation as to why. Because as we've seen, the best picture nominations, it's completely stacked. Say what you will about The Irishman or Ford v Ferrari or 1917 or Marriage Story or Joker or Jojo Rabbit. Like, they're all great films, but what does it necessarily mean for it to be best picture? So I don't know, man. It's a small world out there. But well, I guess I'll let you take the reins here for the next news story. Whatever you wanted to touch on that we haven't already.
Ooh, there's so much left to choose from.
I know, right?
Just scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Let's see.
So much Marvel news, and it's like I didn't realize how much there was. I'm like, this is make a Marvel Disney podcast, so that'll be fun.
I guess we can stick with Joaquin. He's being considered for Captain Hook and Peter Pan and Wendy. I've never really cared about Peter Pan. I don't know if you do, but
I'm like indifferent to it. It's not like oh my gosh, yes moment. But I mean, he's got a nose for a hook. Joaquin Phoenix does.
To add on to that, they want Margot Robbie for Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell, that's right. Yeah,
yes, makes sense. But
I mean, cool. I mean, that's so like I'm not against this idea. I can't say I'm like 100% for it, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, cool. I mean, it would be awesome. It would also be pretty amazing if we got some new faces in these Disney movies. But then again, at the same time, sometimes you do need some recognizable faces.
I think we actually have 3 news stories here that are kind of grouped into that. I guess that's cool. Don't really care that much category. The next one being Jim Carrey and talks to play real life Dr. Seuss.
I was just about to mention that too.
It's like
cool.
like I told you, it'd be cool to see like what the real Dr. Seuss was like. But other than that, it's cool.
I read that he hated children, but I don't know how true that is.
And then the third story that we can group into the category is Rick Moranis making a comeback. I did always enjoy Rick Moranis as a kid, and I'm glad he's coming back and unretiring from acting.
That's the guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right?
Yeah, and
yeah,
a lot of other 90s stuff.
Yeah,
he actually I think his wife died of cancer, so he retired to raise his kids, which was always like a very noble thing for him to do. So definitely respect our boy Rick Moranis.
Absolutely, for sure. How do you feel about Hamilton? Have you seen the Broadway show?
See, I've always wanted to, but it's like you're not gonna be able to get tickets. It's like they're so hard to come by, and then it's like, how has it taken them this long to make a movie out of it?
Yeah, that is true. And that kid, obviously that kind of segues into our next news piece here with Disney is apparently going to release the Broadway show Hamilton, filmed on stage with the original cast members in theaters October 15th next year, 2021. So the film has been shot on stage at the Richard Rogers Theater. I'm not sure where that is.
That's so long from now. Like, I don't know how. Maybe I'm just not seeing the difficulty, but couldn't you just film it one time and then release it? I don't know why it would take that long.
Or just make it into a movie, like like an actual movie. That would
like that other movie that what's his name? Hamilton guy. Why am I blanking?
I'm thinking about him in His Dark Materials, but that's like
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
His other like play type movie. I think it's called In the Heights. I saw the trailer for that before Birds of Prey.
Yeah,
like
same
that got a movie, and that looks pretty good.
It's like I'm right with you. I've always wanted to see Hamilton, and it's like it just never.
Like you're either gonna spend a ton to get a ticket, or I don't know how
or
else.
watch it in the comfort of your own home. Your choice. That's what I did with The Irishman, and I don't regret it ever since. It's very, I don't know. I was actually very happy because, like, when I walked in, like, I had my ticket ready to go. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and watch The Irishman, and then I think I was supposed to see Little Women later on that day. I think I was gonna no Irishman came out during, what was it? Thanksgiving. That's what it was. I was supposed to see it on Thanksgiving, and no, it wasn't Thanksgiving. It was the week before, in our indie theater here in town. And I was like, yeah, I can totally do this. And then I thought about it, and I was like, 3.5 hours is a long time with no intermission. I think I'm just gonna wait for this to come out on Netflix. I'm like, maybe we'll review it. I don't know. Yeah, we didn't review it clearly, but yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I'm just hoping Hamilton comes out soon because I hear great things about it, and it's just I've never been able to go, same as you. So it's like
Well, it's not coming out soon, so we got a year and
we got
a
a lot of
half.
stuff. Yeah, well, hopefully we have a lot of things to keep us busy until then. Hopefully it'll fly by, maybe. But wow, October of 2021, man, you would think it'd be like early. I don't know. It is what it is, man. But I mean, that's life. I don't know. And I guess we can just bounce. There's a few more news topics here that I wanted to talk about. I think there's actually only two more, and then we can wrap up here. But the next one is more Warner Brothers HBO Max news, which I'm actually pretty excited for. I always get excited talking about streaming services here. But so we have the newly announced formed. Wait, what is it? What? HBO Max announced the newly formed Warner Max. The company will be in the feature film project studio for the streaming service. The current aim is for 8 to 10 films per year that are HBO Max exclusives. So Warner,
very creative name. Just take the first word from one and then the second word from the other. Just smash it together.
I mean, that's kind of what Disney did. They're like, all right, we bought Fox. It's not Fox Searchlights. It's just Searchlights Productions or whatever it's called. And now it's not 20th Century Fox. Wasn't it? It's like, I forgot what they
20th Century Studios.
Yeah, 20th Century Studios. So they're like trying to. I love it how they're trying to actually like erase Fox from existence, even though New Mutants is coming out in April, which actually actually I'm actually kind of excited because there's something there, and they said this on Live Camera Barstool a while ago. They're like, there's a reason why this movie is still getting released. There has to be something.
Kevin
there.
Feige knows something. He has something up his sleeve.
There has to be and I'm actually on board for it. And I'm like, I'm excited. I'm like, oh my God, like, will this like not flop like Dark Phoenix? Like, I'm like really, really excited. But I mean, hopefully, we can only hope. I mean, if it flops, it flops. Oh, well, at least we know the X-Men are in good hands over at Marvel Studios. But so for Warner Max is the name of the studio that will be producing films on the streaming service that is HBO Max.
I'm curious to see if they're able to have quicker success than Netflix did, because Netflix, with their original movies to start off, not a great record they had in the beginning.
Yeah,
they had a lot of stinkers. So I wonder if HBO can get off to a hotter start with their movies.
Hopefully, man. I honestly have no clue because it is the people need to understand this. So it's more of, everyone's like, oh, like Disney Plus has nothing new, blah 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 blah, and they're like, oh, it's all nostalgia. It's like, well, yeah, Disney has so much content that like I'm surprised it's taken them this long to make their own streaming service, but I'm glad that they, essentially they did it right. and they took their time with it. But to say that nostalgia only goes so far, I kind of disagree with that statement, only because within the gaming industry, that's not a thing at all. Like, Nintendo's bread and butter is nostalgia, and Sony kind of pretty much follows suit with that as well. So it's like nostalgia is very powerful there, and it's pretty much what Nintendo's basically built off of. So, and that's not like a bad thing, but I mean, it takes time for these newer shows to come out to come out. And I think the route that Disney is taking with their 1 episodes per week is very interesting, but I actually like it because it doesn't pressure me to watch an entire series in one weekend so that I can talk about it the week after with my, with my friends and everyone else who's seen it on Twitter and whatnot. Cause even with, even when what was it, Stranger Things 3 came out, like, I mean, I pretty much spent the entire day watching it, but it's like I don't want to have to spend my entire day watching an entire series when I can, watch one episode, whether it be 30 to 40 to an hour long, and then be on with my day, come back next week, talk about the conversation, and so on and so forth. Instead of, I guess you could say, essentially wasting my entire day trying to watch something just so that I have something to talk about Monday or Tuesday when I come into the office. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure how we got to Disney Plus out of HBO, but yeah.
Yeah, I kind of went off the rails there for a bit, but I am very excited for HBO Max. I believe it is supposed to be $15 a month. I still don't know if you have HBO Go, which is the application that you receive for free if you have HBO through your cable provider, because that's how
sure
it
they
is.
just both transfer over.
I think so. I'll be very happy if they do, so I don't have to like buy HBO Max on top of another streaming service. So, mom and dad, do not get rid of our HBO subscription.
I'm a recent member, so I'll be good to go when Max comes out.
Yeah. You've been watching a little bit of Euphoria there. How is that?
I started that last night, and it is quite the wild ride.
What? So, like, would you compare it to like Degrassi, but like 10,000 times more Degrassi?
Degrassi's like pre-K. This is like 5th semester or 5th year college.
Oh my god, 5th year
so
college.
Different.
The super senior year. I got you. But yeah,
the show makes me think my high school. I didn't do anything in high school because they just do so much crazy shit.
You see, like, and I felt that way when I watched I believe it's called Skins, but there's a US version and then there's the UK version, but the UK version came out first, very similar to The Office. But when watching the UK version, I really liked it. But it kind of reminded me of Degrassi, but it was definitely like Degrassi but on steroids. But this sounds like
Degrassi on
cocaine,
on coke, and other drugs at the same time.
Other heroin, PCP, the whole 9 yards there. But I guess
I really am getting into it. It's got a nice storyline to it.
How many episodes are you in?
Only 3.
Okay, so I'm guessing they're about like an hour long.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you there. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out.
I tried to get into Chernobyl, but it just didn't rope me in.
I still need to watch that. I'm not. You already know this. So for everyone out there, I'm a pre-screen. I'm on the pre-screening committee for my town's film festival. So I've been watching a lot of submissions.
Oh boy.
Some of them are really good, and others it's just like, wow. Why did you submit this? but I'm not gonna say which one it is. If you follow me on my personal, on Facebook or Twitter and stuff like that, you already know. But I'm not gonna say it, here on the pod because I don't want to, do any of that. But there's some
Jerry.
interesting yeah, there's some interesting ones. But also, I've been there's so many shows I want to check out, but I'm also trying to rewatch Star Wars, the Clone Wars series. Did you did you do your abridged watch version?
HBO kind of took over that
I had
spot.
a feel. How far did you get in?
The first season.
That's all right. I'm on season 4, so I guess it makes me feel a little better. But I mean, pretty much, I'm just gonna probably watch the rest from here on out. But it's all right. I mean, honestly, if anything, just
I mean, I
watch
feel like
the
I know
rest.
all the characters now. Like it's
Oh
so
yeah,
far.
absolutely. Yeah, and for everyone out there, we had a bit of a a kerfuffle where I was like, yeah, man, you got to watch all of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. You're like, bro, that's like six seasons and like 25 episodes each. I'm like, yeah, but they go by so fast. And he's like, I'm just gonna look up this like an abridged version. I'm like, oh, don't do that. You're gonna mess on all the smaller episodes and then make the bigger episodes more meaningful. But I've actually kind of caught myself watching the abridged version because I'm like, this comes out like February 27th. I gotta hurry up. Hopefully, I think what we'll do is a full season release, instead of just a week by week, because the episodes aren't that long, but I don't know how many episodes are going to be in Star Wars: Clone Wars. I believe it is a little bit shorter, but I could be wrong. We'll just have to wait and see. But the last piece of news, speaking of Star Wars, actually, we'll just end it with another Star Wars news piece there, so we can kind of round it out and pack it away. So Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy says that there will be a female directing upcoming Star Wars films, which I'm totally fine with. I believe Devin is also on board, but there's one thing that I was kind of iffy about, because I know she said this in the past, but she hasn't really addressed this recently, is that when she said there isn't enough source material for Star Wars. And I was like, okay, Kathleen Kennedy, I love you. I'm all for these, female directed led Star Wars films, but there is so much there's so much source material that you could pull from that it's not even funny. But
I don't have anything against Kathleen Kennedy, but it's time to move on. Like the way she like messed up the new trilogy, and like just give Jon Favreau the keys already. We know he's worthy.
Yeah, I would, and it as much. Yeah, I would have to agree, because it is there clearly was no real plan for this Star Wars trilogy, and and Devin already knows this. I'm a big fan of all three as individual films. This is the first time I've actually liked every single Star Wars movie within a trilogy, but it's an overall. Say what you will about the prequels, they tell an overall cohesive story. So we all know that. So it's very, it's a bit of a mess, but the point gets across. Same thing with the original trilogy. Clearly there, like we said, there was no plan for the sequel trilogy. But I do love a lot of the characters within the sequel trilogy. I know that I think they said they're going to be moving away from the film of Star Wars for a while. I believe Bob Iger actually said a few days ago, I think I ran into it on Twitter, that TV is going to be the focus on Star Wars for a while. So I think that's totally fine, because honestly, minus like Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the movie and the CGI slash kind of animated shorts that we've gotten. That's the only real thing we've had, in The Mandalorian, of course. Those are the only real like Star Wars TV shows that we have. So hopefully with the Obi-Wan series coming out and whatever other projects that they have, I think they wanted to do spinoffs of the Mandalorian as well. Even though I was kind of confused by that, because I kind of felt like the Mandalorian was a spinoff in a way, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm okay with it. They need to take a nice little break. Mandalorian was obviously a great start. Hopefully they can keep building on that and give us some banger shows.
Yeah, but hopefully, yeah. I would be very interested to see if John Favreau just give him the keys. No more Lion.
Take over.
Yeah,
you know what you're doing.
No more Lion King remakes. Heck, give it to Taika Waititi. I'm fine with that too. But hopefully something comes out. I think they do need to let her go though, because there's been too many. Even with the oh my gosh, what's his face is the Duel of Fates. What quote unquote Rise of Skywalker could have been with all the concept art. People need to understand that like concept art doesn't really mean anything. It's just a bunch of ideas that they're trying out for the movie, and they may or may not make their way in. Sometimes they do, and that's great. But I remember, and I forgot the guy's name who was supposed to originally who wrote the original
Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah, Colin Trevorrow. Everyone crapped on him before, and now they see these leaked concept art. They're like, oh, like, oh, this movie could have been amazing. Well, there's slow your roll, because we still don't know. Like we said, it's concept art. There's concept art happens in video games and movies and TVs across every single medium, and a lot of it is just ideas that pop into their head. So, I mean, maybe it would have worked, maybe not. We don't know. But yeah. So, all right, everyone. I guess that this kind of does it for our first news show, our first headline hot take show. Devin, was there anything else you wanted to say to our listeners or viewers at home, or anything else you wanted to touch on before we get out of here?
News.
we gotta figure out something for that, but it's all right.
There was a lot of headlines this week, a few hot takes, and that's how we do it.
Yeah, that is exactly how we do it, man. It is I think this is our first pilot episode, like I said before, during the beginning of the show. So hopefully we wanted to see how this is received, shared. I'll share wherever I can. Hope everyone else shares this as well. And you can share this on, we're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, YouTube, the whole 9 there. And, I definitely, I'll have to figure out a little bit more of its structure, just kind of just go with the flow here. But yeah, that was our first headline hot takes episode here over at Film Optix. So we're just going to be, trying this out. Like you said, that there was a lot to get through this week, but there's so much that happens, and we were trying to do it last week, but series of unfortunate events happened, and that's life. Devin's apartment was getting a little bit renovated there, and he went to go see Underwater instead of Little Women, but that's fine too.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, that pretty much does it here for everyone listening home. Again, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Film Optix. Optix is spelled OPTIX, and you find us on all major platforms for that. And that's a wrap.
Peace.